To Doc Zuniga, a fellow patriot in the great American experiment. Sir, it is with great respect that I receive your letter, and I commend your willingness to engage in discourse about the challenges of your time. Though I am but a voice from the past, I take heart in seeing that the spirit of debate, inquiry, and civic duty is alive and well. You express concerns about the state of the nation, and rightly so. Every age brings with it threats to stability, be they foreign or domestic, ideological or material. Yet it is precisely in such times that the character of a nation is revealed, not merely in the strength of its policies, but in the wisdom and integrity with which they are enacted. On the subject of annexation, while economic ties between nations may shift, the very foundation of the United States was built on the right of peoples to self-governance. Any notion of expansion must be approached with deep respect for the sovereignty of others, lest we find ourselves engaging in the very imperialism we once resisted. The strength of a nation is not in how much land it claims, but in the values it upholds. Regarding the Panama Canal, I understand the concern about foreign influence over critical trade routes. Indeed, access to commerce is vital to any great power. However, there is a danger in assuming that force or unilateral action is the best course. Diplomacy, alliances, and strategic negotiation should always be the first recourse of a republic that wishes to maintain moral authority. You mentioned the risks of China controlling key infrastructure, and I do not dismiss this lightly. Yet the greatest defense against foreign manipulation is not brute strength alone. It is economic resilience, national unity, and the cultivation of strong partnerships. On tariffs and economic dominance, I recognize that there are those who see protective measures as a means of strengthening industry. Yet I must caution that tariffs, if misapplied, often serve as hidden taxes on the very people they claim to protect. Trade wars rarely produce victors. Instead, they create burdens that fall heaviest upon the working class. I urge policymakers to tread carefully, ensuring that economic policies serve the nation as a whole and not merely the few who stand to profit most. The Constitution, as you rightly note, is a living document, but it is not merely a tool of convenience. It is the bedrock of the republic, designed to withstand the ambitions of men. If any leader speaks of suspending it, even in jest, such words must be met with firm and immediate rejection. The moment we accept the idea that our Constitution may be set aside for expediency, we invite tyranny. A free people must never become so enamored with a leader that they forget their duty to hold him accountable. As for immigration and border security, I urge compassion alongside vigilance. A nation must secure its borders, yes, but it must do so with an understanding that those who seek refuge are human beings, not mere statistics or threats. The greatness of America has long been in its ability to integrate diverse peoples into a shared identity, an identity based not on race or birthplace, but on shared values and a commitment to liberty. If policies are enacted that separate families or punish those who contribute honestly to the nation, I fear the cost to America's soul will be greater than any economic burden. Lastly, on the role of media and information, you raise an important concern that biased reporting and selective narrative shape public perception. This is an issue as old as the press itself. In my own time, I was well aware that printers and pamphleteers often wielded influence to serve their own aims. The answer to such manipulation is not to silence voices, but to empower the citizenry to think critically, encourage debate, teach the people to question authority, not in a spirit of rebellion, but in the pursuit of truth. A republic cannot function when its citizens are divided into echo chambers, each believing only the news that affirms their prior beliefs. A final thought. You are clearly a man who cares deeply for the fate of your country, and I respect that. I urge you, however, to remember that no leader, no matter how promising, should be elevated above the principles of the republic itself. History has shown that free nations do not fall in a single moment. They erode gradually, when the people trade vigilance for loyalty, reason for passion, and institutions for personalities. I encourage you to continue seeking truth, to challenge both opponents and allies with equal rigor, and to remember that America's greatness is not in its power alone, but in its commitment to justice, liberty, and the rule of law. Yours in service to the republic, Benjamin Franklin.